What's good, guys? It is the day of Halloween. I hope you guys have a great Halloween. Happy Halloween. Say goodbye to the spider web. The famous spider web is gonna go. Comment down your favorite candy down below, guys. I like gummy bears. I like crunch. I like it when I ask you guys what's your favorite candy. I really do. So I hope you guys are all having a great day. God bless. Let's do it. Last minute full card predictions. We're going to judge each and every single one of these fights, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, judging each and every single one of these fights, determining our final pick with the face-off. So without further ado, weight cancellations and misses? None. Nobody missed weight. No fights are canceled. So this is what I like to see, guys. So let's go. Excuse me, guys. Let me just take a sip of water. But comment down your favorite candy. I like Haribo. I like gummies, sour punch, crunch. I know fruit by the foot. That's a famous one. All right, so minus 230. And remember, guys, we're going over the props on the person that I think is going to win. So the one that I'm going to pick. If it's a close fight, I go for props on both sides, but not really too crazy. And also remember, guys, the odds fluctuate each and every single minute. So if the odds are off by like 10 or 5... it's because it's fluctuating as we speak, and they're always fluctuating until fight night. Even on fight night, they're fluctuating. Minus 230 for Talita, Alencar, Ariane Carnelossi, plus 184. Guys, so Ariane Carnelossi is always a tricky fighter for me. I picked against her last time out against Pierre Rodriguez. She ended up winning that fight by DQ, but it is what it is. And Pierre Rodriguez decides to headbutt her. That was Pierre Rodriguez's fault. I think if Pierre Rodriguez stayed composed, she could have won that fight. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. We're here now. Ariane Carnelossi is strong, a brute, not so good takedown defense, not really a wrestler, but she uses her force and strength to get you down. Her last time out was a mess, not because of her, but because of her opponent. Made a low IQ, fight IQ decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Ariane Carnelossi can defend the first couple of takedowns out of just brute strength. Look at her biceps, guys. She looks like she has that, and she looks like she's on that sauce. Matchup against Talita Alencar. Talita will look to shoot. Resume is looking a lot better now that Stephanie Luciano is doing way better. Talita is 6-1. I was very high on Talita and Stephanie because of their draw in Dana White Contender Series. It made me a fan of both ladies. Although Talita lost the rematch, she still has time to improve and so much time to get better. Alencar is a grappler, shoots off the rip, 2-1 in the UFC, 3 subs overall, 3 wins by decision, and no wins by KO. Or no losses by KO as well, which is a little bit of a red flag. I would like to see her to get her first KO. Let's go over the props. Talita by decision plus 105. Talita by sub plus 450. I think if she gets that back, it doesn't matter how big your biceps are. If we sink that forearm under the neck, you're going to tap. Talita by submission on points minus 185. Talita by KO on points minus 130. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 190. Over 2.5, minus 240. Guys, give me Alencar money line. Minus 230. It might be a little bit more juice now. By the time this video is up, I'll take her money line. Give me Talita by decision plus 105. Talita by sub plus 450. Light sprinkle. And Talita, this fight goes the distance. Minus 190. And the over 2.5. Minus 240. And Talita by submission on points. Minus 185. Those are the best props that I like for this fight. Let's go. Pick and choose. Pick and choose. Let's go. Phil Rowe versus Seok Ko. Now, this height difference looks big. Like, this looks like a big height difference. And now you can see why Phil Rowe comes in heavy that third round. Phil Rowe is dangerous in that third round. Plus 152 for Phil Rowe. Seok Ko minus 188. This is a fun matchup. Phil Rowe was getting his ass whooped last time out until that KO that he needed to get in that third round against Angelosa. Over a gassed Angelosa. Phil Rowe, 11-5 overall. 1 minute left into round 3. And Losa was just gassed and got finished bad. Phil is 3-2 out of his last 5, with losses to Neil Magny, Jake Matthews, and he did go to a split with Magny, but I don't know. He still has those losses to Neil Magny and Jake Matthews. 6'3", 80.5-inch reach, only 35 years old. He can be a little bit of a slow starter, but he uses his height and reach to his best ability, and he adds up, touching the body, adds up with an cumulative amount of volume. And before you know it, you're gassed in that third round, and he's wailing on you. This guy throws the kitchen sink when he senses that you're already gassed. He finds a way to just make things work in the chaos. Matched up against Seok Ko. Seok Ko is a unique athlete, was overlooked this last time out by me because I picked Oban Elliott to beat Seok Ko, but Seok Ko showed that he had grappling, and he has very deceptive power. He's insanely good. He's not insanely good at his striking or very fast, but he works with what he's got. He throws the kitchen sink at you. He's too reckless for my liking at times. If you wrestle him, you can take him down, but he is the wrestler as well. The thing about young Ko surprised me was his last time out against Oban Elliott. He did amazing, constantly taking him down, performed very well, and he's looking to extend his win streak to 6. We'll see if he can do it with a win over Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe is an interesting fighter because he puts the gas and he starts to work. I'm going to go with Seok Ko for the dub. I think he should implement that grappling, show the holes in Phil Rowe's game, and I think he can win 30-27. Let's go over the props. Ko by KO, plus 340. Ko by points, plus 160. Ko by KO on points, minus 155. Over 2.5, minus 152. Under 2.5, plus 120. So, guys, give me Seok Ko money line, minus 188. He's in my 6 best bets. I'll go Ko by KO on points, minus 155, excuse me. Ko by points, plus 160. And over 2.5, minus 152. Let's go, my guy. But be careful with that third round, because Phil Rowe in the third round is a mythical fighter. Montserrat Conejo Ruiz versus Ardelean. Ardelean, minus 375. She's probably a minus 400 now. Montserrat Conejo Ruiz, plus 285. Ardelean is a tough vet. I've actually picked Ardelean. I've never actually picked her to win a fight. This is going to be my first time that I'm actually picking her to win a fight. She's 33 years old. The remaining fighter is looking to extend her win streak to 2. She is 10-7 overall. And I have to admit, I've overlooked Ardelean. But after looking at her gym, the people she surrounds herself with, she's training each and every single day to get better. And I have to respect her, guys. She's very good at what she does. And I like Ardelean. She's going to be matched up against Montserrat Ruiz, a wrestler, 10-4 overall, only 32 years old, looking to break her 3-fight losing skid. She is 2-3 of her last 5. Once on top, if she gets there, she has decent control, good shots. She does get sloppy, each one to give one. She does get tagged way too much for my liking. Her last time out against Eduardo Mora, she got manhandled. She got taken down and destroyed. I like Elise now. I like Elise, and I said this in the notes. Elise is a dog, not odds-wise, but just a dog at fighting. She's just good at what she does. She works with what she got, and she sharpens all her tools each and every single one of these days. Elise by points, minus 110. Elise by KO, plus 470. Elise by KO on points, minus 220. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 205. Over 2.5, minus 260. Guys, give me Elise Ardelean money line. Minus 375 from what I know right now. Could be juiced. Over 2.5, minus 260. Elise by KO on points, minus 220. And Elise by decision at a minus 110. Let's go, my girl. Elise for the dub. Let's go. All right, 143. Lock of the week time, baby. Yacht. Ketlen Vieira, plus 142. Norma Dumont, minus 176. She's probably like a minus 180 now. Norma Dumont, fight week, baby. Yacht. This is a very important fight for both ladies. Winner of this fight is on the verge of a title shot at 135. Ketlen Vieira really impressed me her last time out against Macy Chiasson. She put a grappling clinic on her, and we just saw Macy fight. Macy Chiasson lost to Yana Santos not too long ago at UFC 320. Ketlen Vieira is 15-4 overall, looking to extend her win streak to 2 with the win over Norma. She is 3-2 overall. Her 2 most recent losses are to Raquel Pennington and Kayla Harrison. 34 years old, getting better each and every time she shows up in that cage. She looks to throw bombs, marches forward, and she is strong and big for this division, guys. She's going to be matched up against Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont has a lot of talent behind her, looking to extend her win streak to 6 in a row with a win over Ketlen. Funny enough, Norma Dumont actually lost to Macy Chiasson. That's how you know styles make fights. She's 8-2 in the UFC, 10 wins by decision, 2 subs in the first. I remember when Norma Dumont lost to Megan Anderson long ago. Norma has gotten so much better since that fight, and I think now this version of Norma would beat Megan Anderson. Let's go over the props. Norma by KO, plus 440. Norma by points, plus 105. Ketlen by points, plus 210. I figured if this fight's going to go the distance, take Ketlen by points, Norma by points. In one parlay, the other one in another parlay. If you're not confident, if you just want more plus money. Ketlen by points, plus 210. Norma by KO on points, minus 130. Norma by submission on points, minus 150. Fight goes the distance, minus 430. Guys, give me Norma Dumont money line, minus 176. Give me Norma by points, plus 105. Norma by KO on points, minus 130. Norma by submission on points, minus 150. And this fight goes the distance at a minus 430. Let me just double check that, because this fight to go the distance at a minus 430, it feels atrocious. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, to take this fight to go the distance, considering that both of these ladies are very high, it's minus 350. So it's minus 350. Give me this fight to go the distance at a minus 350. Let's go, my girl, Norma Dumont. Lock of the week, baby. Let's go. 209, 209, 209. All right, let's go. Sedriques Dumas versus Donte Johnson. Donte Johnson minus 355. Sedriques Dumas plus 270. Someone said, and this is Angela from We Want Picks, he said that, I know I say this like 1,000 times already, that Sedriques Dumas sewed his testicles back together. Let me chill. Donte Johnson is from Dana White Contender Series, only 26 years old. Looking to go 7-0 with a win over Dumas. He's relatively short for the division, 5'8", 74-inch reach. Comes from Gynosis Combat Sports. He did good his last time out. He KO'd Darine Abby on Dana White Contender Series. Abby was huge, 6'2", huge. 81-inch reach for Donte Johnson. Still, 81-inch reach. And Donte Johnson still beat him, Donte Johnson, the majority of his fights is at a height and reach disadvantage. What I'm trying to say is, Donte Johnson was at a massive height and reach disadvantage against Abby, and he still beat him. In fact, the majority of his fights, he's at a disadvantage height and reach wise. He can close distance very well, good in and out style, throws volume on volume on volume, and this guy packs a punch. At 185, I think he's a great addition to this division, and he's going to make waves. Matched up against Sedriques Dumas. Dumas has been in and out of jail. Dumas is crazy, but he's a cage fighter. What do you expect? Dumas is 10-3 overall, looking to get back in the win column. Dumas is 30 years old, 6'2", 79-inch reach, and he has some decent performances in the UFC, such as Abu Azaitar, Cody Brundage, and Dennis Tillulin. Dumas is a striker who can grapple as well, but give me Donte Johnson for the dub. Let's go over the props. Johnson by KO, minus 175. Donte by decision, plus 1,000. Come on, man. Eventually, Donte's going to have to go the distance. At a plus 1,000. Donte by KO or sub, minus 260. Donte by KO or on points, minus 250. Over 1.5, plus 172. Under 1.5, minus 225. Give me the under 1.5, minus 225. Donte by KO or sub, minus 260. Donte by KO, minus 175. And Donte by KO on points, minus 250. Let's go, my guy, Donte Johnson for the dub. Let's go. 234, 234. I want to make sure that I'm not missing any fights. There we go. Back then, like a year ago from today, I would have accidentally skipped some fights. So I'm glad that we're in a little bit of better condition than we were a year ago. Minus 118, Timmy Cuamba. Chang Ho Lee, minus 104. Chang Ho Lee is a beast, man. Very underrated. The way he did Cortavius Ramirez, he messed him up bad. Chang Ho Lee is 11-1 overall, only 31 years old. Looking to extend his 5-fight win streak to 6. He finished all of his last 5 opponents inside the distance except for Long Zhao. 2-0 in the UFC for Chang Ho Lee. 5 KOs, 2 wins by sub, and 4 wins by decision. Chang Ho Lee has great grappling, a great body lock with his legs. I believe that's a triangle lock. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he looks to wrestle. He has been taken down before, but he's better when he's the one pushing the action. Matched up against Timmy Cuamba. Timmy is 9-3 overall, 26 years old, still has time to grow, time to improve. 5'9", 71-inch reach, 3-2 out of his last 5, 1-2 in the UFC, losing to Balahioki and Lucas Almeida. He went the distance with both of those guys. He's fast, smooth, decent takedown defense as well. Looks to work the body, try to throw down. Each one to give one. He can wrestle, but only wrestles if he's getting tagged way too much. I love this fight, guys. One of my favorite fights on the card. I had to take a sip of water. I can't wait to have some candy today. The pick is going to be Chang Ho Lee, guys. I think he has a higher ceiling. Chang Ho Lee for the dub. But this is going to be a fire fight, guys. And if you like Timmy Cuamba, if you don't know what to do, take this fight. Doesn't go the distance. Sorry, guys. Timmy by KO, plus 500. Timmy by points, plus 165. Chang by sub, plus 900. Chang Ho Lee excuse me. I believe that's Chang Ho Lee by decision. I can't see it right now because Chang Ho Lee by points is plus 260. Yes, it is. Timmy by KO on points, minus 120. Chang only by KO on points, plus 125. Chang by sub or points, plus 175. Over 2.5, minus 210. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 174. Now, that one's a little bit crazy, guys. For this fight to go the distance is expected. So, I'm expecting Chang Ho Lee to grapple and bring it. But if he's telegraphing his takedowns, shooting out of desperation, he's going to be in for a rude awakening. Give me Chang Ho Lee by points, plus 260. Chang by KO on points, plus 125. Chang by submission on points, plus 175. Over 2.5, minus 210. And Chang Ho Lee money line at a minus 104. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Excuse me, guys. 305. My bad, guys. I gotta blow my nose. He did the mash. The monster mash. Kevin Christian versus Billy Elekana. Plus 210 for Kevin Christian. Billy Elekana minus 265. Billy Elekana has found his groove at this time in his career. Billy lost his debut against Bogdan Guskov. I believe it was on short notice, correct me if I'm wrong. But since then, he beat Aybol Aslan by decision, 30-27. Billy's only 30 years old, 6'3", 77-inch reach, long for the division, good sharp jab, good grappling, and decent striking. He does move his head back to avoid strikes, which could be a bad habit. But he has 3 KOs overall, 1 win by sub, and 4 wins by decision. The way he sets up his strikes can be slow pace, but it's because sometimes he's timid. His last time out, he was a little bit timid, but he's getting better each and every time he steps in that octagon. Matchup against Kevin Christian. Kevin Christian will be making his UFC debut since fighting on Dana White Contender Series 1 year and 1 month ago. 9-2 overall, 30 years old, 6'7", 80-inch reach, 100% finish rate for Kevin. You guys know what I say. That's a little bit of a red flag, but whatever. 3 wins by KO and 5 wins by sub. With a lot of these guys, they don't use their range and management of distance to their fullest ability. Kevin eats one to give one. Good knees up the middle. He's very open to a takedown, throws subs off of his back. Once taken down, he works. He attacks. And he did win by sub on Dana White Contender Series. Kevin is a good athlete. Don't get me wrong. But he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Give me Billy Elekana for the dub. Let's go over the props. Billy by KO, plus 155. Billy by points, plus 330. Billy by KO or sub, minus 120. Billy by KO on points, minus 165. Will this fight go the distance? No, minus 280. Over 1.5, minus 148. Under 1.5, plus 116. Fight ends by KO, minus 105. Guys, in this case, give me Billy Elekana, money line, minus 265. I'm going to go with the over 1.5, minus 148. I'll take fight ends by KO, minus 105. This fight doesn't go the distance, minus 280. And Billy by KO or on points, minus 165. Let's go, my guy, Billy Elekana. But you know, Billy can get a sub as well. Now, let's go to the next fight. 331, let's go. Allan Nascimento versus Cody Durden. Allan Nascimento minus 300, Cody Durden plus 235. This is a fun fight. Allan Nascimento was supposed to fight Rafael Estevan, but now this is the fight. Shout out to Cody for stepping up. Allan Nascimento did very well his last time out against Jafel Filo, and Jafel Filo just submitted Clayton Carpenter. He can deal with adversity very well, stay composed, and work. 5'8", 69.5-inch reach, 1 win by KO, 12 subs in the first, 15 subs overall, and 5 wins by decision. 3-1 in the UFC. He jumps right into the firefight against Filo. He was put on his back for a bit, but he still survived. Allan can strike, scramble very well. His shot selection isn't the best, and his takedown defense needs to be polished. But against Cody Durden, I think he's got this. Cody Durden, 17-8 and 1 overall. 1-4 out of his last 5. Excuse me. Taking this fight on short notice. Lost to Tagir, Bruno Silva, Joshua Van, and Jose Ochoa. 34 years old. Marches forward, looks to grapple. He can't really maintain top control that well. And I think that's a big issue in his game. You know, he can take you down, but he can't maintain that top control for a substantial amount of time. Let's go over the props. Allan by sub plus 150. Allan by KO. Allan by sub plus 150. Allan by points plus 210. Allan by KO or sub plus 110. Allan by submission on points minus 230. Fight doesn't go the distance. No, minus 142. Over 2.5, minus 110. Guys, in this case, give me Allan Nascimento money line, minus 300. Allan by sub plus 150. Allan by points plus 210. Allan by KO or sub plus 110. Allan by submission on points minus 230. And give me that this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 142. Let's go, my guy, Allan for the dub. Let's go. All right, let's go. 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Daniel Frunze versus Charles Radke. Charles Radke minus 170. Daniel Frunze plus 138. This is a banger scrap. Charles Radke is a unique fighter, a grappler with decent shot selection, 35 years old, 10-5 overall, 5'9". He is 3-2 out of his last 5, losing to Carlos Prates, knee to the body, and most recently got KO'd by Mike Malott. Comes from MMA Masters, eats one to give one. He has deceptive power. Even in his takedowns, he's powerful. Charlie is 3-2 in the UFC, 5 KOs, 2 subs, and 3 decisions. He can transition very well on the ground, can kind of slow down as the fight goes on, though. He does get tagged up, though, but it's tough as nails. Matched up against Daniel Frunze. Frunze is a guy who I was very high on at one point. 9-3, 31 years old, 6'1", but because he looked great on Dana White Contender Series. But in his UFC debut, he ended up going to war with Reese McKee for 5 minutes, just throwing bombs, constantly getting dropped, and constantly not deciding to wrestle if your life depended on it. In a fight where if he didn't throw balls to the wall, he could have had way more success in that fight. 8 KOs for Frunze, 1 win by decision. But Frunze has lost a majority of his fights inside the distance by submission. Frunze has deceptive power, good leg kicks, throws the kitchen sink at you, goes crazy, gets way too wild, eats one to give one. He can be a bloody mess and still not decide to wrestle, which gets me a little bit frustrated, guys. I'm going to go with Charles Radke. Let's go over the props. Radke by points. Radke by KO plus 230. Radke by decision plus 340. Radke by KO or sub plus 130. Radke by KO or on points minus 110. Fight ends by KO minus 135. I like that. Will this fight go the distance? No, minus 240. Over 1.5 minus 152. So, guys, in this case, give me Radke. Money line minus 170. I'm going to go with Radke by KO plus 230. Radke by KO or sub plus 130. Fight ends by KO minus 135. This fight doesn't go the distance minus 240. And that over 1.5 at a minus 152. Let's go, my guy Radke, for the dub. You better bring it, bro. You better bring it. 426. This is a fight that has had me all over the place, guys. Isaac Dalgurian minus 280. Yeager Duval plus 220. This is such a good scrap. Isaac Dalgurian, I believe he's a Division 2 All-American wrestler, but can maintain his gas tank a little bit. You know, he needs to work on his gas tank. You know, in my notes I said he can't maintain his gas tank that well, but that was because he was fighting at a very high pace. Everyone will bring up that C-Rod fight and how he should have won that fight. Honestly, he probably should have won that fight in reality. Isaac is 29 years old, 5'7", solid high school wrestler, All-American. He shoots off the rip, needs to work on his gas tank though. Good shot selection. He did great his last time out against Brandon Marotte 1 year and 1 month ago. Good control, great pop shots. Comes out of Factory X Muay Thai. 4 KOs in the first, 3 subs overall. 100% finish rate for Isaac, guys. No wins by decision yet. Matched up against Yeager Duval. Yeager is a monster, a real problem, undefeated. 2 KOs, 3 subs in the first round, and 4 wins by decision. 1-0 in the UFC, looking to go 9-0 with a win over Isaac. Very good grappler, decent power, but is a very good striker. Comes from Cuba, 29 years old, 5'9", 69-inch reach, works knees, can go to war, decent cardio, very good submissions, always attacking. And the way that he finished Connor Matthews was vicious. Isaac being a favorite is a bit surprising, but it makes sense because he has a path to victory in the wrestling department. Let's go over the props. Guys, this one, I don't like to pick flip, guys. Isaac by KO plus 230. Isaac by points plus 280. Yeager by KO plus 600. Isaac by KO or sub plus 100. Isaac by KO or on points minus 130. Yeager by KO or sub plus 330. Yeager by KO or sub plus 330. Yeager by KO or on points plus 300. Will this fight go the distance? No, minus 215. Under 2.5, minus 154. Guys, I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to go Yeager Duval plus 220. Give me Yeager for the dub, guys. I know Isaac can definitely get the ball rolling. But I got to stop pick flipping, guys. I don't feel good when I pick flip and I get the pick wrong. I'm going to go Yeager, guys. Give me Yeager money line. Yeager Duval plus 220. I'm going to go Yeager by KO or sub plus 330. Yeager by KO on points plus 300. This fight doesn't go the distance. No, minus 215. And the under 2.5 at a minus 154. Let's go, my guy Yeager Duval. Let's go. 454. Demba Gorimbo versus Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells plus 108. Demba Gorimbo minus 132. This fight has me all over the place. Themba has terrible fight IQ, and he does have a long neck that lets him susceptible into getting choked by Gilly and Elekana choke, all that stuff. But guys, I think Themba has gotten a lot better since then. Themba is 14-5 overall, 4-1 overall. He lost 10 months ago to Vicente Luque and Elekana choke. He got dropped. It was a bad fight. Themba's 34 years old, 6'1", 77-inch reach, 4-2 in the UFC. Lost to AJ Fletcher and Vicente by sub. The guy just dives right into a choke sometimes. He can't defend a sub attempt if his life depended on it. Themba's huge for the weight class. A decent counter striker. Great takedown defense. He can wrestle. He has 17 takedowns in 6 UFC fights. I really like Themba, but it frustrates me when he makes questionable decisions. I believe in Themba. I really do. Matched up against Jeremiah Wells. Wells is 12-4-1, 3-2 out of his last 5, but he's on a 2-fight losing skid, losing to Carlston Harris and Max Griffin. He's 39 years old, 5'9", 74-inch reach, 4-2 in the UFC. He did beat Court McGee by KO. He beat Matthew Semmelsberger by split. He has good BJJ overall. And Themba is going to be the pick, guys. I'm going to go with Themba, guys. This fight is nasty. Like, I really don't want to touch this fight with a 10-foot pole, minus 1-800 gambler type of fight. But give me Themba, guys. I'm going to go with Themba money line, but let's go over the props. Themba by sub, plus 700. Themba Garimbo by points, plus 240. Wells by sub, plus 460. If you like Wells, you can take him inside the distance. I definitely think he can finish Themba if Themba's hurt. When Themba's hurt, he doesn't remain composed. Themba by submission on points, plus 150. Over 2.5, minus 112. Under 2.5, minus 112. Give me Themba Garimbo. Moneyline, minus 132. I'll go Themba by points, plus 240. Themba by submission on points, plus 150. And the over 2.5, minus 112. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. 523. Ante Delija versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Plus 110 for Waldo. Ante Delija, minus 134. Waldo just fought 2 months ago. He's been very active this year. Salsa Boy is 7-2 in the UFC. He's a great striker who has done boxing before. 7 KOs, 1 win by sub, and 7 wins by decision. 14-2 overall for Salsa Boy. 34 years old, 6'4". Waldo Cortes-Acosta did pretty well his last time out against a former interim title challenger, Sergey Pavlovich. He lost by decision against a freak of nature who has put a majority of his opponents' lights out, Sergey Pavlovich. No shame into losing to Sergey. He has a positive striking differential, lands almost 6 significant strikes per minute. We've seen him wrestle before as well, and I think he might wrestle here, guys. Waldo is good at baseball as well. I think he grew up playing baseball. Matched up against Tom Aspinall's friend, Ante Delija. Ante, 26-6 overall. He was 8-3 in the PFL. He made his UFC debut against Marcin Tybura, fought in Rise and KSW, and is now in the UFC. Tom Aspinall's teammate. This guy has power like no other. This guy is a menace. The way he put out Marcin Tybura was insane. He can wrestle, but it seems like he fell in love with his hands. Huge for the division, but both of these guys have the exact same reach at 78. He is 35 years old. He's on a 2-fight win streak, looking to make it 3 with a win over Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Now, I like Waldo. I think Waldo can definitely wrestle here. And I think he definitely has a path to victory. I like the over 1.5. Over 1.5 always comes in clutch with Waldo. But let's go over the props. Waldo by points, plus 260. Ante by KO, plus 250. Ante by points, plus 310. Waldo by KO on points, plus 115. Ante by KO on points, minus 110. Over 2.5, minus 124. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, plus 100. No, minus 128. This is sketchy, guys. I'm going to go Ante Delija, low confidence at a minus 134. Give me Ante Delija. If you like a prop for Waldo, Waldo by decision, Waldo money line, Waldo by decision plus 260. Give me Ante by KO plus 250, Ante by points plus 310, Ante by KO on points minus 110, and the over 2.5 at a minus 124. Let's go, my guy, Ante Delija. Let's go. 548. Main event, boys and girls. Minus 138 for Steve Garcia, David Onama, plus 112. This is a banger fight. Steve, the mean machine, Garcia. 18-5 overall, 33 years old, 6 foot, 75-inch reach, 7-2 in the UFC. His only 2 losses are to Luis Pena and Machete. He got KO'd by Machete 1 minute into round 1. He did get a little over-aggressive. He's a great boxer. He's currently on a 6-fight win streak, beating Chase Hooper, Shailin, Mizuki-Acosta, Sungwoo Choi, Kyle Nelson, and most recently, one of his best wins yet, the first man to ever drop Calvin Cater. He marches forward, deceptive power, he can wrestle as well, he's fast, sometimes he's aggressive, and sometimes he's a little bit too aggressive for my liking. 5-0 out of his last 5, 14 wins by KO, 4 wins by decision. He has great footwork, and I think that's what's most important. I think he has better footwork than David Onama. Matched up against David Onama. Onama's a good kickboxer, a great kickboxer, who can wrestle as well. With a new wrinkle in his game, the wrestling department. He is 4-1 out of his last 5. His most recent loss is to Nate Landwehr. 6-2 in the UFC. Mason Jones and Nate Landwehr are the only people that beat him in the UFC. And what do those guys have in common? Those guys are dogs. They get right into your face. He's now on a 4-fight win streak, beating Gabriel Santos, Jonathan Pierce, and Roberto Romero, and most recently, Giga Chikadze. It was a super competitive fight, 1-1 heading into round 3, and Giga ended up getting taken down in control for the rest of that round. Onama's a technician. He may be the more technical fighter in this fight, has good low kicks, and the low kicks could be a massive factor if you accumulate them against Steve Garcia. But he's a front-forward kickboxer. I think whoever's on the front foot, whoever's dictating the pace, will have a lot more success than the other opponent and will be winning the fight. Steve Garcia will slightly be taller than Onama. That's what I wrote in my notes, but right here, it looks like Onama's taller. Maybe he has shoes on, though. But I can see wrestling exchanges happening, guys. Both of these guys are looking to strike, but I can see wrestling happening here. Garcia might have some issues early with Onama striking, but Steve hits harder, in my opinion. Steve just needs one shot. Steve can wrestle as well. And Steve actually threatened a rear naked choke against Mizuki-Acosta. I think his money line is a good spot. I love Garcia's ability to adjust in between rounds. And I love the way that he was able to win a decision as well. It's going to be his first 5-round main event against Onama, especially in the UFC. His first time going 25 minutes. It's going to be crazy, guys. I think Steve Garcia's fight IQ and his footwork and his grit and determination is going to be the determining factor into why he's winning this fight. Garcia for the dub. I'll go money line. Let's go over the props. Garcia by KO plus 105. Garcia by sub plus 2,000. Onama by KO plus 220. Garcia by KO on points minus 130. Garcia by KO or sub minus 115. Over 1.5 minus 128. Under 1.5 plus 100. Fight ends by KO minus 330. Onama to land 1 takedown. Now, when I wrote this down, the props weren't there. They weren't there yet, right? But now that we're here, let's see. They're not here no more. If you guys have Onama to land 1 takedown, I believe it was plus money. I believe. Steve Garcia, it's not here no more, guys. But the props for Onama to land 1 takedown were very good. I really wanted to include it, but it's not here. The props aren't there. If you see it, I would take it. Garcia by KO rounds 1, 2, or 3. Plus 135. Garcia by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5. Plus 550. Guys, in this case, give me Garcia money line. Minus 138. I'm going to go with the over 1.5. Minus 128. Give me Garcia by KO or sub minus 115. Garcia by KO on points minus 130. And this fight ends by KO minus 330. And Garcia by KO rounds 1, 2, or 3 plus 135. And last but not least, Garcia by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5. Plus 550. Let's fucking go. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Sorry if I'm breathing a little bit heavier. It's my nose, guys. My nose is runny, especially at this time, like around 4, 5, 6 o'clock. It is a little bit runny. That's why sometimes in the night, my prediction videos come out the best. But let's go. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, guys. The best is blessed. God bless. Let me know who you guys got. Let me know who's your lock of the week. And let me know what you guys rate this card 1 through 10. Happy Halloween. The spiderwebs are going to go. Say goodbye to the spiderwebs. Spooky, spooky skeletons are trickling down your spine. Have a great Halloween, guys. God bless. The best is blessed. Stay safe out there. Before you know it, it's UFC 322. Hey, Giyat.